Welcome to Strato Automation's technical channel. Today we're going to get familiar with Strato Light Configuration Tool. After downloading and installing the software, it'll create a shortcut. Locate the shortcut and double-click it to launch the application. When launching the application for the first time, you'll see three tabs across the top: Project, Connection, and Login. Under Project, you have the option of choosing New for a new project, open an existing project from a directory or from the list below, and some Save buttons. Below that, you'll see some grayed out options that we'll discuss some of those later on in this video. When choosing About, it will display the current version of SLC that you're using. The next tab we're going to discuss is Connection. In order to connect Strato Light Configuration software to a BACnet MSTP network, you must be physically connected to that network. There are two choices that you can use. You can use a Strato USB to MSTP cable or a Strato USB to COM adapter. Under Connection, you'll see two choices: an automatic checkbox and a selection for a COM port. If you uncheck this automatic, you'll select your COM port, your baud rate, your SLC address, and your max master. For example, today we're going to use automatic. And I know from our installation that we've done that COM port 3 was assigned for SLC. I then click on Connect, and I see a green checkbox which indicates that I'm successfully connected to a BACnet MSTP network. If you do not see this green checkbox, you can check the following two items. You can make sure that you chose the correct COM port, and you make sure that you're physically connected to a BACnet MSTP network with the following two options I listed earlier. The next tab we're going to discuss is Login. There are four login prompts: Viewer Only, Building Management, Air Balance Mode, and Setup Mode. For today's example, we're going to use the Setup Mode. Once we're logged in with Setup Mode, additional tabs show up on our primary and subdirectories. We'll discuss some of those later on in this video. In order to bring in BACnet MSTP devices to the directory, there are two choices. You can use the BACnet Automatic Discovery Node button, or you can use the Add One Device at a Time button. For this example, we're going to use the Automatic MSTP Discovery tool. This will go out and scan the network and bring in every device that's on your MSTP network. Once this process is completed, the window will disappear. While we're waiting for the window to disappear, we'll go through the shapes that are on all of the icons over here in the window. A circle icon indicates a third-party device. A plus icon indicates a BACplus device from Strato. A diamond device indicates a backwall device from Strato Automation, and a Z indicates a VAV device from Strato. Under our subdirectory, we have three tabs here. Since we're on a third-party device, we see Device Config, Objects, and Live View. When choosing a Strato device, you'll notice there are four tabs across the top. On the first tab we'll see is Device Config. If you choose Address 1, your default device instance will be 213001. If you need to change this, this is where you would change that by highlighting this area and sending to the device. Once you've sent the device, you'll see a green checkbox below that says command has been received successfully. The next tab is Application Config. This is where you configure your device settings per your project. We have individual videos for all of our devices on setup on our channel. Please visit that after this video. The next tab we have is Objects. This is where all the BACnet objects are stored and displayed in this window. Once the read is done and the cursor is gone across the bottom, you'll see the red checkbox down arrow to read all again. You can click that again and it will go through and read your devices again to get the current values. Once that bar is stopped moving, you'll see this turn red again. The next tab is Live View. This is where you would display everything that you've configured through your application config on all your tabs. Again, we'll have videos for all the individual devices on our channel. Please look for those. Under the Projects tab, you'll notice the grayed out areas are now visible in black. We have Update Firmware on multiple devices, Update Config on multiple devices, Export I/O port report, and check for updates from the web. Under Update Firmware on multiple devices, it will give you a comparison of what you have currently installed versus the latest version that's on the SLC software that you're using. This is where you would check the devices that don't match so that you're using the latest firmware at all times. You can check a few or check all, and then you'd hit firmware to devices. There'll be a separate video on updating firmware devices on our channel. Update config on multiple devices. This is where you can check to add additional devices on here with the base configuration that comes with the database. There'll be another video that goes through this feature and how to use it on our channel. Export I/O report, PDF and CSV. Under Application Config, there's a tab on the bottom that you can turn on and off the I/O table. When choosing the configuration of some of the devices, you'll see the I/O table populate automatically. It auto builds the graphics below. When choosing the Export I/O report to PDF or CSV, it will export every device you have in your directory that's a Strato device with the I/O report that you can utilize for your installers or for your red lines. You can also update notes in here. Check for web updates. If this is green checkbox and you're connected to the internet, then you know you're using the latest version of SLC. If there is a yellow triangle here, you'll notice that you'll have check for web updates with the yellow triangle. You can click on that and it will take you through prompts to update your SLC software. This concludes getting familiar with SLC. Please visit our channel to view the other videos we have for configuring rooftop units, fan coil units, and VAVs. Thanks for joining our channel.